Spotify employees are allegedly planning a walkout because of Joe Rogan's podcast. Bruh. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, The Pascal Show. One word. Hit that like button down below and most definitely crush that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. Anyway, we got to jump into this conversation because this is a very important conversation that we need to have right now. Spotify employees are allegedly planning a walkout or strike because of Joe Rogan's podcast. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of things that this is a very heavy, heavily layered conversation right now. Okay, there's a lot of things that are going on because this thing is important. And there's going to be a reason why I say that is important a little bit later on in this conversation. Apparently, last week, Spotify employees were demanding direct editorial oversight over the recently acquired Joe Rogan podcast, or the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. That would include the ability to directly edit or remove sections of upcoming interviews or block the uploading episodes deemed problematic. The employees also demanded the ability to add trigger warnings, corrections, and references to fact-checked articles on topics discussed by Rogan in the course of his multi-hour discussions. So some of the group's demands have been met by Spotify's management, though a refusal to allow further changes is stirring talk of a high-profile walkout or strike. So here's the thing. Now, there's a lot I want to say because there's a lot going on here. And I understand that there's some people that there's some employees, there's some listeners out there that don't agree with Joe Rogan and what he talks about, or some of the topics that he brings up onto his show, or some of the people that he brings up on his show. All right. Now, he's been doing this on YouTube. And if you don't know who Joe Rogan is, obviously he's Joe Rogan. He runs the Joe Rogan podcast, or Joe Rogan Experience podcast. It is arguably the number one podcast ever. All right. He is basically like Howard Stern level in the podcast world. In the podcast platform, he is a rock and roll star. He is brought on all types of people, from extreme right-wing, guests to rock stars, to leftists, to everything. He's brought on every single person you can think of to bring onto the show. Also, on top of that, he has had all types of issues that he's talked about that have spanned the spectrum of every type of issue. He has talked about things in regards to issues of the LGBTQ community. He has talked about racial inequality. He has talked about things as stupid as, I don't know, Kanye West doing some crazy tweet. You know what I'm saying? He has covered a lot of different bases on his channel. Now, the thing on his YouTube channel and on his podcast, but now he has signed a multi-million-dollar deal. I mean, they're saying allegedly, reports say up to $100 million to go take all of his content and go exclusively over to Spotify, where he's going to have all his videos playing there, all of his podcasts, everything, all on Spotify alone, and that's it. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of things that are going on, and this is a heavy conversation. And the reason why I say it's a heavy conversation is because he is the pioneer. He is the first man to be going out here doing this. The first podcast, let's just say that. First podcast to be out here doing this. And there's a lot of other podcasts out there that are looking at him and wanting to follow his example. You know what I mean? Follow his lead. And the thing is right now, this is very important that he really gets his ducks in the row and makes sure that all the things that he has in that contract are literally like fine-tuned to the umpteenth degree. Because here's the thing. He wanted to leave YouTube because he was tired of being censored. He was having issues with things being shadow banned or he was just having issues with being able to post and talk about whatever he wanted to talk about on that platform. That's the reason why he wanted to move. That's why he made the move to Spotify. But as soon as he gets over to Spotify, now they're having issues with some of the guests that some of the guests he's had on, to some of the topics that he's had. Now the thing is his channel is opinion based. He is not he's not a journalist. He is a comedian that happens to have a podcast that just blew the F up and has been doing it's been amazing, and it keeps soaring. You know, he should be able to state his opinions and be done with it. Now, I know that about a week ago, he went onto his platforms and apologized because of something that he said, saying that there were, leftists that were going out and starting these fires and everything. And I get him correcting himself, but you could tell that was something that Spotify's management probably came to him and said, "Hey man, you know what you said on that thing, I think you're going to need to go out there and actually say that that's not factually correct." You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what's happening, that he's starting to get groomed. Not groomed, but he's got suits watching his every single move. Whereas before, when he was on YouTube, he could do anything he freaking wanted, because he was the boss. He could do whatever the hell he wanted. Now you got suits above you watching everything that you do, because they want to make sure that they're securing that $100 million. They're getting their $100 million worth. But at the same time, you move there specifically so that you can have the freedom to do what you want any old time. And it's unfortunate that it looks like it's starting to backfire. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that Joe Rogan should be taking down any videos or taking down any of the interviews that he's had in the past. They said, "Come into my house. I'm bringing you." This is what Spotify said, basically. "Coming in. I'm bringing you in. Warts and all. We already know what kind of content you're bringing in. We already know who you are. Come on in. Come as you are." And then as soon as he starts to put his underwear in the drawers and put his toothbrush in the toothbrush holder, you know what I'm saying, his little loofah in the shower, they're like, see, now here's the thing. I don't use that kind of stuff. So can you take that down? And can you take that loofah out of there, because we only use our hands up in here. We just use soap to body. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? This is a situation that does not need to be happening, period, for Joe Rogan. This is exactly the reason why he left. This is the reason why he's making the transition, so that he can have more freedom. I think it's really, really funny when you think the grass is greener on the other side, you jump over that fence and you realize that it's the same color as the grass you just jumped from. The other thing is, though, too, I'll say this too. Joe Rogan, given the fact that he is just, he isn't a fact-based show. He's an opinion-based show. He's a comedian that runs a podcast. He's not a journalist, but he does have some small pieces of responsibility. Given the fact that you are now at a whole nother level, you have millions and millions of downloads. You have millions and millions of people that listen to your stuff and watch your stuff on the daily. Every single time he puts out a video, it hits crazy. It hits millions of views all the time. So I feel like there also is a small piece of responsibility to make sure the information that you have is correct. I understand that you are just an opinion-based podcast. You are not a journalist, but at the same time, there are a lot of people that listen to your opinions. And I know that your opinions are just your opinions, but wouldn't you want your opinions to be backed with factual facts? Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's been a million times that I've done a video or put out my own personal opinions on things that have been absolutely 110% wrong. I'm human. It makes sense. He's human too. That's totally fine. When you're at a certain level, like he is, I think there's a certain amount of responsibility that you have to the viewer and to the listener to give them the facts. Then give them your complete and honest opinions about things. I think that would work too. But at the same time, there's other things, there's other problems that he's having. There have been there have been interviews that he has had that have not been seen, that have not shown up on his Spotify, that people are going, hey, what happened to this one? Where's the Alex Jones interview? Where's the Jordan Peterson's daughter interview? There's a lot of them that are just not there, and that's causing quite a bit of a problem, and people are going, what the heck is going on? And people are thinking it's because of these Spotify employees that are starting to say we have demands. And that's ridiculous. Joe Rogan has the freedom of speech, and he should be able to use that however way he wants. Now, when I say, oh, if he had a little bit more information, or he can come in with the facts and then be able to give his own opinions, see, that's still my own opinion. He could do whatever the hell he wants on his page. All I ask is that he does it in a respectful manner forever. And he always has been. In regards to the Spotify employees, let me just say this. If you're going to make a big fuss over one person, one platform that has the freedom of speech, that has the freedom to be able to do what he has been doing since day one, then you need to start kicking rocks. That's what I think too. Anyway, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think that the Spotify employees have a right to make a fuss about this or nah? And also, what do you think? Do you think Joe Rogan made the right decision moving to Spotify or nah as well? Anyway, comment down below, hit that like button, and most definitely crush that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers and would love to have your subscription. Anyway, got to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.